Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers in my YouTube family, and to the fathers watching. Your day is coming soon, and I promise we'll celebrate you when it arrives. But today's message, while deeply rooted in motherhood, is also for you, because understanding this can build bridges of empathy and grace as we honor this day of love, sacrifice, and quiet strength. I invite you to slow down with me just for a moment. Today's video is simple, just me in stillness, placing fresh flowers in vases and gently decorating our home with plants. But like many of life's simple things, there's something deeper beneath it all. Each flower holds a memory, each leaf a quiet thought, and in the gentle rhythm of arranging beauty, I'm finally ready to share something that has quietly followed me for years. Mommy guilt. This is the beginning of that conversation. Let's breathe through it together. By the age of 27, I found myself leading more than 2,000 team members across countries and continents: Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, New York, San Antonio, Salt Lake City, Houston, and later Ghana, Mexico, India, and the Philippines. From the outside, it looked like I was living the dream. The titles, the passport stamps, the fast-paced success. But what most people couldn't see was the ache that followed me each time I boarded a plane, because with every takeoff, I wasn't just flying toward another responsibility. I was flying away from my heart, away from my son. And that's when I met her. Not a stranger, not a friend, but a quiet shadow that would sit with me often. Her name was Mommy Guilt. That familiar feeling so many working mothers know. The tug of war between two truths that seem to pull in opposite directions. One, I was building a better life for my family, creating opportunities, breaking generational ceiling. And two, I was missing moments I could never relive. Bedtime stories, his football games, spontaneous hugs. That's the sacred tension where mommy guilt lives. But here's what I've come to understand. That tension is also where wisdom begins. In that space, we are invited to reflect, not with shame, but with compassion. To ask better questions. What truly matters? What does success feel like, not just look like? And how do I carry both ambition and presence without breaking myself in the process? It took time and tears and countless red-eye flights, but eventually I learned you can honor your dreams without abandoning your heart. You can lead globally and still love deeply. You can be powerful and soft, driven and devoted, not perfectly, but truthfully. So to every mother who's ever felt the pull between boardrooms and bedtime, between meetings and memories, I see you, and I want you to know you are not alone in that space between. That space is not your failure. It is your strength being stretched. It is your love in motion. Red-eye flights became my rhythm. They let me land just in time to catch a weekend with my son, not just to be a mom, but to be there, present, even if sometimes I was too tired to keep my eyes open. Just being in his presence felt like enough. And somehow I believe it was. I'll never forget one Mother's Day, fresh off a red eye, eyes heavy, but heart full. My son had only one request. Mommy, can we go to Coral Cliff Kids Gaming Lounge? His favorite place in Montego Bay. We played basketball for hours, and that boy, he beat kids twice his age, shot after shot, with the kind of focus only kids chasing fun can have. And then with his pile of saved up tickets, he marched over to the counter. He didn't hesitate. He bought me a bracelet. It wasn't fancy. It broke soon after, but it was love. Pure, uncomplicated, and wrapped around my wrist. I kept it, not for how it looked, but for what it meant, because it's never about the price of the gift. It's about the heart of the giver, especially when that giver is your 10-year-old son. Even in the midst of all the milestones I worked so hard for, there were quiet moments, moments that made me pause, moments when I wondered, was the price of my ambition too steep, especially for my only child? Did my absence leave quiet imprints, invisible to the eye, but deeply felt by the heart? Yes. If I'm honest, yes, I believe it did, but healing is a journey, and my child and we're still walking that road, one memory at a time, one deep conversation at a time, one hug that lingers just a little longer than before. We are rebuilding gently, intentionally, beautifully. You know, many career mothers ask me, how did you deal with mommy guilt? And let me be clear, I'm not here as an expert. I'm simply a woman who's been through it, a woman who still feels it sometimes, like a whisper from the past. But here's what I've learned. Mommy guilt is real. And if we want to rise above it, we must first gently name it, call it out so it doesn't silently shape us. So from my heart to yours, here are a few simple practical truths that have helped me and some extraordinary women I deeply admire. Take a breath. Let this be your moment of grace, and know this, you are not alone on this path. How to release mommy guilt. Step 1. Breathe first. Picture yourself on an airplane. You're traveling with your little one nestled beside you. The flight is smooth until it's not. Suddenly the cabin shakes and oxygen masks fall from the ceiling. In that very moment, what are you told to do? Not to save your child first, but to place the mask over your own face before helping them. As mothers, this feels almost unnatural. Our children are our heartbeat. They are our why. But here's the truth. If you can't breathe, you can't help them breathe. If you're running on empty, you can't fill their cup. This moment, this instruction, it's not just for airplanes, it's for life. And yet, so many of us live each day gasping while trying to keep everyone else afloat. So today, I invite you to take this first step with grace. Allow yourself to breathe first. Let that oxygen, whether it's a moment of rest, a nourishing meal, a quiet prayer, or even 5 minutes of stillness, fill you up so you can show up stronger, softer, and more whole. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's survival. It's sacred. And it's the first most powerful step toward releasing mommy guilt. Step 2, a moment of reflection. Take a quiet breath here and gently ask yourself, what would you have wanted your mother to do when you were a child? For me, I would have wanted my mother to choose herself, her career, if it meant she didn't have to keep borrowing money just so I could go to school. I would have wanted her to pursue the opportunities that could have saved my grandmother's life. I would have wanted warm meals on the table, running water inside our home, and fewer nights filled with quiet struggle. Even as a child, I think I would have understood that sometimes love shows up in sacrifice, that sometimes putting your job first doesn't mean putting your child last. It means building a future where love doesn't always come with lack. If your child is old enough, have that conversation. Ask them, what would you want me to do? But ask only if you are ready to truly hear the answer. And more importantly, act on it. Because one thing heavier than mommy guilt is broken trust between a mother and her child. And if you're not yet ready for their truth, it's okay to pause, but never ask a question you are unwilling to honor with action. Step 3 is all about reflection. Take a deep breath and ask yourself gently, why am I really feeling mommy guilt? Is it something someone said in passing, a comment that lingered a little too long in your heart? Or maybe someone is projecting their beliefs, suggesting that your dreams, your career, or even your own well-being somehow mean you're choosing yourself over your child? Pause, not with blame, not with shame, but with honesty. If those feelings were planted by someone who doesn't walk your path, someone who doesn't carry your responsibilities or share your story, then give yourself permission to lovingly create distance, not out of anger, but out of self-preservation. But if in a quiet moment of introspection, you find even a sliver of truth in what was said, meet it with grace, address it, not with guilt, but with courage. Make the adjustment and do so quickly so you can return to your path with peace, not pressure. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to evolve and still be a loving, devoted mother. Step 4. Prioritize presence over perfection. Take a deep breath and let this be your gentle reminder to intentionally carve out time for your children. Make it a priority to take a personal day at least once a week just for them. If life gets busy and you miss a week, don't guilt yourself. Double up when you can, even if you're working from home or you're physically present, but mentally pulled in 1,000 directions. This matters. This still matters. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't have to be grand. You don't have to plan an expensive outing or a big event. You can simply stay in, bake cookies or a cake together, run them a warm bath with bubbles and laughter, then curl up to watch their favorite show side by side. For older children, ask them what they want to do. And even if it's not something you'd normally enjoy, indulge them. You'll come to realize something sacred. Spending time with your children is far more powerful, far more lasting than simply spending money on them. Time is the currency of connection. And your presence, that's the true gift. Step 5, acknowledge and accept. Take a deep breath with me because this one can be hard to hear. There will be important moments in your child's life that you'll miss. And yes, it's okay to feel sad about it, but here's the truth. It is not healthy to carry that sadness like a burden or to let it spiral into guilt. The reality is it just isn't humanly possible for a working mother to be present at every single school play, sports day, or lunchtime visit. And the sooner we lovingly admit that to ourselves, the sooner we learn to manage it with grace. But here's the beautiful part. We live in a world where technology gives us a second chance to be part of those moments. You don't have to be physically present to still be present. Ask your child's nanny, a trusted family member, or even your partner to capture snippets of the event, a short video, a quick FaceTime, even a photo of them proudly holding up their certificate. And if your schedule allows, step away even for just a few minutes and join the moment live. Cheer them on, smile with them, let them hear your voice saying, I see you, I am proud of you. And later that evening, when the day slows down, replay the video over dinner, watch it with them, talk about what made them laugh, what made them proud, what they wished you had seen in person. That shared moment, even if it's hours later, becomes its own kind of memory. One built on connection, on love, and on the gentle reminder that while we may not always be there, we will always show up in the ways that matter most. Step 6, remind yourself this won't last forever. Take a deep breath and gently remind yourself This moment, this season will not last forever. Your children will change. Your workload will change. Life, as it always does, will evolve. I remember when my son turned 8, the goodbyes weren't as painful anymore. In fact, after PlayStation and Xbox entered the picture, I became the one saying goodbye. As he made new friends at school, he slowly began to crave more independence. And I found myself being the one asking for his time. Seasons shift. Just as children grow, your career might also open new doors, offering more freedom, more flexibility, more time to breathe. So the next time you're overwhelmed, exhausted, questioning if you're doing enough, pause and whisper to yourself, this too shall pass, because it will. And when it does, you'll look back, not with guilt, but with gratitude. I know of moments when mommy guilt became so heavy that some mothers gave up on their dreams, not temporarily, but entirely. And in every case, every single one, years later, when the children were grown, the mothers quietly regretted that decision. And more often than not, the children turned around and asked, why did you give up your dreams because of me? Let that sink in. You see, science shows us something interesting. Feeling guilty doesn't actually help us change for the better. Instead, guilt empowers the part of the brain that craves quick gratification, the part that wants comfort now, even if it costs us everything later. Mommy guilt is natural. It's part of the journey. It shows how much you care, how much you want to give your child everything. But don't let it weigh you down to the point where you're making permanent decisions based on a temporary moment. Let me say that again. Don't make a lifetime decision to solve a short-term problem, because your child will grow older, your situation will change, and your needs, your calling, your dreams, they matter too. So please, whenever you're faced with a big life-changing decision, like quitting your job or shelving your dreams to stay home, pause, breathe, evaluate carefully. If after deep reflection, you truly believe that stepping away is the right thing to do, then own that choice. Embrace it fully. Understand its short-term costs and its long-term impact. But don't ever let guilt force your hand. Don't find yourself years from now resenting your children for a decision they never asked you to make. You are not a bad mother for having dreams. You are not a bad mother for building a life that makes space for you to let go of the guilt. Hold on to your wisdom. And remember, you're not choosing between your child and your dream. You're showing your child what it looks like to dream with courage. Now, as we wrap up today, let me reflect on what I am doing. Some people see flowers simply as decoration, but I see them as quiet messengers, reminders of beauty, of growth, and of impermanence. They bloom boldly, fully, unapologetically, and then gracefully they let go. So today, as I place these floral arrangements around our home, I'm also placing a gentle message for you right here in this moment. You are allowed to grow. You are allowed to bloom even as a mother, especially as a mother. And if you noticed the slight elegance or softness in my voice, yes, that's still me, just speaking through my cloned voice, powered by 11 Labs, because like these flowers, we too evolve. What I just shared was taken from my heart and adapted from my book. If you'd like to go deeper into reflections like this, you'll find a link in the description to get your copy. In the book, I also share 10 key lessons to teach your kids. Lessons that are small seeds with the power to grow greatness. So to every mother, whether you're thriving, surviving, or somewhere in between, I see you, I celebrate you, and I thank you for continuing to show up even when it's hard. Happy Mother's Day. And until next time, walk good.